name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And finally, my Season 24 Blu-rays have arrived. Season 24 was a troubled year. I would say it's more of a rebuilding year for Doctor Who. And it really did show. And I was kind of on the fence about this one because I didn't really like Season 24. This set so far is really rekindling my love for this season. Not rekindling my love for this, because I never had love for this. Even when I watched it, it was always a bit painfully embarrassing, right? There's a lot of painfully embarrassing bits in it. So I'm going to be reviewing this set. I think I'm doing it in 4 videos, going over the four stories. First one, we're going to be talking about Time with the Rani. Spoiler review here. I liked it more than I thought I would, right? But it's really much more worth getting than I thought it was. Before we get into it, can you hit the like button? That'd be fantastic. Can you hit that share button? Share me around, baby. Share me around. Like, share, subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. Something great. If you can keep it going. Thank you very much, and thank you for everybody who subscribed. You subscribe. Make sure you still subscribe. That'll be fantastic. Double dozy. You want to be super nice? You want to be super duper nice? Go check out my Indiegogo. 1 second, it's over here. There we go, my Indiegogo right here. No, it's still going to be around. It's going offline sometime this week. I'm waiting. As soon as I get a print date from the from the printers, that's when I'm taking it offline. So it's 2 freaking awesome graphic novels. We got biblical Bible stories for atheists, creationists, rationalists, and rogues. That's 220 pages long. We have you got any questions? By just get in contact and ask me. We have the Imperium, 105 pages long. I wrote this. Dominic Ratchet did the art. I did the art and writing on the other one. Basically James Bond, Emma Peel, Doctor Who, Bunking in Spacesuit, and the Black Sabbath from 2001 in one fantastic supergroup. Everyone's getting this. This was a pin-up, now it's a poster because we broke $8,000. It's Noble Savages. You get the For the Mill gay series, a bunch of postcards, naughty, titillating postcards that I do tend to enjoy. I think this is the only time you're going to be able to get the series, but it is continuing into my next campaign, which is really ready to launch, right? I'm looking forward to launch it, which is why I'm trying to wrap this up. I'm not launching it till everybody gets their freaking comic, so that's why I'm rushing to wrap it up. And I think I'm going to throw in another poster as well, right? You've got both books. I'll give you any poster. You can have a choice for this one, or this one. Whatever you want, baby. Whatever you want, I will sort you out. So let's talk about Season 24 Blu-ray. More specifically, Time and the Rani. So this, again, I had a very bad impression of this season. I had a very bad impression of this story. And it took me watching the extras, watching the behind the sofa, which is totally worth the price of admission in of itself. And it took me listening to Sylvester McCoy talk about it and everybody talk about it before I actually forced myself to watch it. And it's not all bad. In fact, there's a lot more good there than you realize, right? There's a lot more good there. But let's talk about the bad, because the bad is so bad. It's so bad you can't look away from it. Firstly, the Tet Traps. The Tet Traps just don't work on screen at all. It's embarrassing. They kind of look like they would have worked in a 1960s Doctor Who with a grainy, like low quality cameras in black and white. I think what really makes them fail, right? What really makes them fail is the wings. The wings are so unbelievably unconvincing. I think somebody should have taken a look and said, no, we've got to make them into monkey creatures or something like that, because they just don't work. They do not work. They don't look threatening at all. So that's one of the problems. The second problem is Kate Amara, for some reason, is just so pissed off. The character. She's playing the Rani, and somebody who's just so angry and pissed off and mad at all the Lacurtians. Now the other problem with this is the general plot and script, which is not great, right? Not great. It's okay. It's okay, but it's not great. So why did I like this? Right? What made me actually like this? Well, it's you see from the beginning Sylvester McCoy how much he commits to the role. Actually, you know what you're really seeing? You're seeing Sylvester McCoy, Bonnie Langford, basically everybody. Andrew Cartmel is a big influence here, but everybody not have any idea what they're doing and learning on the fly. Like Sylvester McCoy didn't really understand what the hell's flying with Doctor Who, as did Andrew Cartmel. I was like, I don't know, it's the time. I've seen it for years. Like, neither of them really had any idea. I think Bonnie Langford as well. And Bonnie Langford comes out of this as the star of the show. I mean, not of the show, but from the behind the scenes stuff, right? Just comes out of it very, very well. And I have a lot more respect for her now. I mean, she's great. I think Bonnie Langford is absolutely great after watching this. But the thing is, none of them really had any idea what Doctor Who was. From what I can understand, that John Nathan Turner was a bit depressed at the beginning of this, and he basically down and come, you guys just take care of it. And he did it, But I think as it went along, I think he got more infused and more excited about it, right? That's really what I think went down, and I think the entire production team did that. So essentially, this is the people who don't know much about Doctor Who, or what the BBC can do, trying to work it out. And I always said by season 25 they did. When they came back with Remembrance of the Daleks, wow, they knew what they were doing. But you can see McCoy's performance right from the beginning is very authentic. Like, he's putting himself totally into it. But I think it was around the next story sometime where he realized what an incredible role this was. You can do incredible things with this role. And you can see his respect for it, right? Which I really, 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 really liked. But if they just sat down and had a tone meeting and worked out what exactly they wanted to do, like, this season is much more frothy and fruity and bubbly. It's very, very 80s. But if they just all sat down and worked out that together, what the vision that they want to do, I think they would have done a lot better. And if they had like a Barry Letts there or somebody who could advise them on what the BBC could do and how they could, that would have helped them so much. And it really would have got over a lot of the terrible mistakes. Something else that I found really fascinating, like absolutely fascinating, was when I watched the season 26 Blu-rays, I was struck at how incongruous the opening titles were. They just didn't work in context of season 26. Right here, they worked freaking perfectly. It had that right feeling. That in fact, when you have like the pre-title sequence, which is now common in Doctor Who, they didn't have at the time, with the Doctor regenerating, leave the girl, it's the man I want. And he turns them over, it's Sylvester McCoy in a wig, and it blends straight into that opening title sequence, and it works, and it continues to work for the entirety of the story. I'm really intrigued to see where it's going to go with Battlefield. But it really, really works for very well. Bonnie Langford again, she gives it her all, and she wants it to be great. And she's offered Doctor Who and said, "Oh, that sounds fun. Maybe I'll do that." And they gave her a script, and well, I'll just do what they say on the page. And she does, and her character is underwritten. Basically, a character is Bonnie Langford. And it's a public perception of Bonnie Langford who see her more as Violet Elizabeth still from Just Winning. Actually, another aside from this that really blew me away. I was really miffed with Bonnie Langford when she took over, because she took over from Perry. Perry, of course, being my vision of beauty, right? Like, really, my entire perception of beauty comes from. Like she appeared in spandex, looking like a very healthy young lady. The millisecond my puberty hit, right? You could tell. Basically. So when Bonnie Langford turned up, and didn't look like she'd be quite as good a swimmer as Nicola Bryant. How can I put this politely? Like, didn't look like I had a very different. I was kind of just annoyed and turned off, right? She's a lot more beautiful than I thought. I mean, she looks really good in this. And I'm surprised I didn't notice, because I was really looking. That's how miffed I was at Bonnie Langford taking over. So on this we have... so the story, again, it's a weird plan that Rani has, right? It's a weird plan. She's pissed off throughout it. The Lacurtians are like... Bleh. I mean, Lacurtians are like... Again, this feels like it was made at the same time as the Dominators. It feels like very much in that template. I think it was made at that time, it probably would have been a lot better. But it wasn't. By the way, there's something they should have incorporated on this disc, but they didn't. Somebody on YouTube has done this really good regeneration sequence for Colin Baker. It goes right into Time of the Rani, taken from the Big Finish. What's it called again? The Last Adventure, the Six Last Adventure, which was like this titanic battle between the the Valeyard and the Doctor, and the last one, and the Valeyard's taken over the Doctor's body. And so the Doctor chooses to kill himself, literally throw himself in the path of like this radiation from emanating from Lacursha, and that's how he regenerates. So it's a much more heroic regeneration, but they redo a bunch of special effects. It's all so much better. It's all so much better. Look, they were really excited about the special effects in the in '87 when they did this, and they were an incredible step forward. Like the Rani's flying balls of doom, and I can't believe I don't use that sentence more often. The Rani's flying, but they were breathtaking. No, I mean, we saw like the Trial of the Time Lord space station sequence the year before, but that practical and fun kind of like trap was pretty good. And, very, very well realized. But I tell you, well, now they've upgraded it, and you get the close-ups of Mel in the book going, the pixelization is terrible. You get the whole basically the 1987 special effects do not do well with the upgrade of moving it to HD. It does do it, and like the Rani's castle, which is like a lot of Quintel paint box painted over like the rock face, so you got the whole top of the castle thing built into the quarry. That is very blurry. I'm pretty surprised they didn't like just redo that because it seemed to be a static shot. Listen, it's fun. You look back at these things and you go, hey, that's how they did it at the time. It's kind of fun. Tons of extras on this disc. On that, just tons and tons of extras. In fact, there's two discs. You get this extended edition where they have a different version of the regeneration. Essentially, they put Colin Baker's face on it before it turns into Sylvester McCoy. But I think one of the most interesting things on this disc is the Behind the Sofa. Behind the Sofa is a feature where you have it's like, what was it? Telepops? I can't remember what it's called. TV Vox. We have three groups of people watching the episode, and you get their impressions. So you got the first group is Sylvester McCoy, Bonnie Langford, and Sophie Aldred, who are just like having a good time going through like Nostalgia City, right? It's really funny. Sylvester McCoy looks like Maz Kanata now. He's got these massive glasses and he's tiny, and he's like and if you know Maz Kanata, one of the characters from the sequel trilogy, please don't be mad at me for mentioning it. But you can see like the professionalism of Bonnie Langford, and like how she'll be like, can you do this? And like, anything, yeah, no problem, I will do it, no problem. She's kind of strikes me like Arnold Schwarzenegger in a certain way. James Cameron always described Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was making Terminator. He said, okay, walk across the street and then punch the window out of this car. And Arnold would be like, yes. And it was not some special effects, he just did it, right? Same thing with Bonnie Langford. Whatever she was asked to do, she was like, fine. They talked a lot about Kate Amara's Bonnie Langford impersonation in this, in general speaking, and she didn't like doing it when Bonnie Langford was on set, but it's really good. It's funny when like now they're pointing to it, you really, really do notice it. I said it's enjoyable, and it's like I do love it. So 80s, like Bonnie Langford and Kate Amara pretending to be Bonnie Langford. She's wearing a top with the matching leg warmers built into it, and everything she does is very dancer-esque, or very balletic, all the fighting stuff and everything. And Crazy Amara just, Bonnie, can you do this? No problem. When one of the tep traps tongue her. Again, everything about this perhaps is just like, what were they thinking? Paralyzes her with the power of their tongue, and that she planks, right? Because she's a dart, she knows what she's doing, and she just does it very well. I thought when I first saw it, it was a mannequin, but no, it was just her being good at her job. And yeah, that's the overall thing. She's just good at her job. I just wish she was given a different direction and better scripts. Honestly, Bonnie Langford's in Doctor Who is really redeemed in Big Finish, much like Colin Baker's. But anyway, so the first group is Bonnie, Sophie, and Sylvester. The second group is Peter Davison, Sarah Sutton, and what's her name? Tegan. Janet Fielding. Peter Davison is ripping the piss out of the episode all the way through. He says it's because that his daughter chose Peter Sylvester McCoy as her favourite Doctor in a poll, but I think he's just ripping the piss, right? So it's kind of fun. But the most interesting one is Colin Bacon and Michael Jason. Michael Jason played the Valeyard. That's fascinating. He is still bitter. He is still hurt to this day. Like seeing Sylvester McCoy wearing his outfit hurts him. He's like, oh, he's wearing my teddy wear bare buttons, and you can see how much it hurts him. And it's like, what, 30 years? How many years? 87, 97, 2007, 2007. It came 35 years later, and it still stings. And yeah, that shows you how much it hurts. There's just, what else is on this? There's a ton of extras. Let me have a quick look at the listing. What else they got on there? This is Helter Skelter. That's from the initial release. Last Chance Saloon. It's kind of, they're saying like, you should have been cancelled, but you weren't. That's quite a good documentary. Helter Skelter about creating the title sequence, and they were groundbreaking at the time. Nice interview with not Matt Irving, basically who Matt Irving regenerated into, Mike Tucker, right? about special events. This was the first thing he worked on. There was a good feature on casting Sylvester, and you get his full audition along with, who else is it? The other people they put up against him. It was Dermot Crowley and David Fielder. So apparently they wanted who was the name of the guy who got Sylvester McCoy into acting? I keep thinking Terry Trindle, but it's not him. Doesn't matter. But they wanted him to be the Doctor. Oh man, and so they make John Nathan Turner do audition other actors. And basically, this is all about making John Nathan Turner quit, which is why I think he was so miserable at the beginning of this season. He was very detached. And so he because he thought McCoy was gonna be good. He got another couple of actors in who were good, but just totally wrong for the role. And so that's David Fielder and Dermot Crowley. You have 5-1 score. The HD transfer is excellent, as they are always. So we got bunch of stuff about them making appearances, promoting the show, and how they dealt with fan criticism, or no, British public criticism, and there was a lot of it. There was a lot of criticism from the British public to Doctor Who at the time. I would say similar to now, probably better than it is now, right? I think it's probably worse than it is now, and they dealt with it so well, right? They leaned into it. They did their best. They didn't pretend nobody was saying anything bad, right? They didn't hide it, which I think is a better way of dealing with it. And you know what they did? They just ended up making good Doctor Who. They ended up hearing everything, making Doctor Who. And you can here's the real tragedy with this one. You can feel Andrew Cartmel, Sylvester McCoy feeling their way through a maze while they're blindfolded. And they found their way through, right? They found their way through. So on the strength of this first story, Time the Rani, this is a recommend. I really, really recommend this set. I'm looking forward to getting into Paradise Towers. And yeah, I'm hoping I'll find stuff that I like about Paradise Towers in the same way I liked about Time in the Rani. Worth another look. Worth another look. Just you got to accept there are some terrible aspects to it. Mainly the tetraps. They're so embarrassing, right? They are the quintessential embarrassing Doctor Who monster that you never want anybody to walk in while you're watching it where they're on, because they're just embarrassing. And again, I feel bad for Sue Moore. She did a lot of work on them to. They're just embarrassing. It's a bad concept done badly. Very good. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.